Well, I was having so-so luck with some live steam trains I've been working on, and I've got my little Bing running very reliably now. And the other two trains I have, the Basset Loke and the Bowman. I'm afraid to run those inside with the live mess burner and the live flame and everything. So anyhow, I said to myself, well, maybe I'll get one of those Mamod trains in their current production, basically, and they seem to run good. So I bought this train off of eBay from a guy in England. So I get it home and everything. It looks nice. It was hardly run, so I try and fire it up. First of all, using the SPIT tablets and the burner that came with it. Well, anyhow, it won't run. So I try everything and it just won't run. So then I take it apart and I look at it, and first of all, it leaked just everywhere. The front part of this here, where the front boiler is attached, there was a sheet metal screw that went through to hold that on. Well, it also pierces the boiler a bit, and although there's a cap on the boiler and a flange, it went through the flange, and that's how they made it. But it also was a big leak there. So anyhow, what I did is I resoldered the front boiler cap and made studs so I can mount the boiler, and I made the boiler so it just comes right off. The pistons weren't good. They seemed too loose in the cylinders, so anyhow I made new cylinders and pistons, and I put a O-ring groove in the pistons and bored and reamed them and fit the pistons up real nice, so that was good. Everything leaked. The pop-off valve leaked, the fill valve leaked, the whistle leaked, the directional valve leaked. Some of these Mamod trains are put together with a O-ring type setup, and what happens is they have a tube in here that's sealed to the boiler with an O-ring. Well, that leaked, so I soldered that. I took the O-ring connections off the directional valve, made hard solder connections to that. While I had it apart, I took the wheels off. One of the known problems with the Mamods is the wheels are staked to the axle shafts, and it's a bad staking. They're loose, so I did something about that. I remachined the wheels true, and I remounted them with a screw to the axles, and I carefully recorded them, and so that was good. So anyhow, after a lot of trials and tribulations, I think I got this thing running good. I made a temporary mess burner for it. This setup here. I've also ordered a Bix butane burner system. So when I put that in, that's going to be a lot safer than the open flame of this mess burner. And because if the train tipples over, the alcohol spills everywhere, and it's not cool. So I'll have to see how safe the mess burner is, and maybe I can actually run it inside. But I'm not gonna, although I want to, I'm not going to run this around the room, because if it falls over, it's a fireball. It's just not cool. So anyhow, I'm going to fire this up in a couple minutes and let you see how it runs now. Okay, I've got this thing steaming up here. I've got a three burner mess burner I made pretty quickly. It's not the greatest job, but it's totally functional. So I think I've got enough steam now. Oh yeah. So the problem I had with this, everything was bad. All the connections where the reversing valve meets its plate was machined poorly, and the area where the oscillating pistons ride on the valve was machined poorly. So I straightened everything out as best I could. I lapped everything in. It's pretty much leak free now. So I'm going to give it a blast off here. There it goes. I throttle it back a little bit here. That's better. better. It runs very nicely at a slow speed, so I think that means it's probably pretty good. This thing has a reverse on it, which works all right. A lot of guys radio control these things and they take advantage of that reverser, but I'm not going to do that. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to wait till I get the butane burner before I try and run this, because the potential for disaster is enormous. So it's putting up a good wad of steam there, and it's running nice and smooth. Very little leakage from the cylinders, and I'm pretty happy with the way this went. So when I get the burner and get that all installed, I'll make another video of it actually running. Thanks for looking.